The machine goes off before you fully understand why. Lights flash, a bell starts ringing somewhere above your head. A number on the screen climbs past anything you expected to see tonight. You just won $40,000 on a $2 bet, and for about 4 seconds, this feels like the best moment of your life. Here's the part nobody warns you about. That feeling isn't relief. It isn't even happiness. Not really. It's a chemical event happening inside your brain, and it's about to cause you more damage than any losing streak ever could. When you win unexpectedly, your brain releases a surge of dopamine. Not because you got money, because you got money you didn't predict. Neuroscientists call this a reward prediction error. And it turns out your brain doesn't care about the size of the win nearly as much as it cares about the size of the surprise. That's the first problem. Your brain just logged this machine as wildly, unpredictably generous. It didn't log the 2 hours and $300 you lost getting here. It logged the surprise, and now it wants more of it. So you sit back down. This is where most people assume the story ends. You got lucky, you walk away, you're fine. But the data tells a very different story. Multiple studies on problem gambling have found that a big early win is one of the strongest predictors of long-term gambling problems, not a protective factor against them. Winning big doesn't satisfy the itch. It rewires what the itch is for. Here's why. Slot machines are built on something called a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, the same conditioning structure that in lab experiments gets pigeons to peck a lever more obsessively than almost any other reward pattern researchers have tested. You never know which spin pays out. That uncertainty isn't a flaw in the system. It's the entire system. You just got the biggest possible signal that this particular uncertainty is worth chasing. Your brain doesn't average out your wins and losses the way a spreadsheet would. It remembers peaks. The $40,000 moment becomes the reference point your brain measures every future spin against. Even though, mathematically, the house edge guarantees you'll give most of it back over time. So you keep playing. Not because you're chasing the thrill of winning anymore, because you're chasing the feeling of almost getting back to that peak. This is called loss chasing, and it's one of the most well-documented patterns in gambling psychology. The brain doesn't process "I'm down $5,000 from my high point" as a stopping signal. It processes it as unfinished business. 3 hours pass. The $40,000 is gone. So is the $300 you walked in with. So is more than that. Because at some point, you stop tracking it precisely so you wouldn't have to feel the number get smaller. Here's the cruelest part of the mechanism. Near misses, spins that almost paid out, 2 matching symbols, and one that just barely doesn't line up, activate nearly the same reward circuitry as an actual win. Slot machine algorithms are engineered to produce these near misses far more often than random chance alone would predict. Your brain can't fully distinguish "I almost won" from "I'm about to win," so it keeps you reaching. You're not playing against bad luck anymore. You're playing against a machine that learned decades ago exactly how your dopamine system responds to uncertainty and built its entire business model around the gap between a win and an almost win. The $40,000 didn't save you from this. It's the reason you're still sitting here. What if the casino already knew exactly how long you'd stay? That's a story for another time.